It is Friday, September 22, over at Jacobs Pavilion. Parkway Drive, The Amity Affliction, North Lane, and Make Them Suffer. All Aussie bands, hence the name. Tickets, info, all the other stuff, you can go to axs.com. You want to go? Tickets for you and a pal. Caller 10. Good luck. 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.
Let's be real. Sleeping with your teacher is hot. Just be careful if you're homeschooled. Mom, stop it!
Now back to the Alan Cox Show on 100.7.
So I think those are free tickets, but you got to go to rockhall.com. You got to reserve them. But Breeders are part of their lineup. So tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, provided I have that information correct. And I think that I do. Guardians Twins are back at it, past the rain delay, around the corner at Progressive Field. It is 1-0 Guardians in the bottom of the fourth. They will head to sunnier climes tomorrow. They'll head out west to play the Angels in Anaheim. That is a 4-game stretch that'll take them through the weekend. And then they'll head up the coast to play the Giants at whatever Candlestick Park is now. Where do the Giants play? Giants play in Giant Ballpark Stadium, I think is what it's called.
Pretty close.
If I'm not mistaken.
I actually don't know at all.
All right.
Safeco? Is that?
That's a Petco Field?
I know
is that where they play?
There's Petco's where the Padres play.
They play in Oracle Park.
Oracle.
Yeah.
Oh, because then they have Oracle.
All named
Arena
after
too.
tech companies and stuff. It was Pacific Bell Park, SBC Park. It was AT&T Park. It was, it is Oracle Park is where the Giants play, and they'll be playing the Guardians in San Francisco next week. But right now, they're trying to finish up this series against the Twins with a win. They don't want to get swept. That first game was 20-6. And then 8-3 was the final last night. And Guardians want to avoid that sweep there. Of course, the promo code at CLE Clothing Company for the month of September is SPICY. Got a Poundcake sports break a little bit later on. We were off last week. Well, I was on jury duty. So that preempted the Poundcake sports break for last week. But I assume that he is very excited to do one this week.
Very much so.
Is there a new Poundcake podcast?
No, not this week.
All right, sir. YouTube, by the way, is not required to host anti-vax videos. So you numbnuts who are way into those, they don't have, this whole thing went to court because people don't understand the First Amendment. And so YouTube said, we can put up or take down whatever we want.
Because we are not the government.
We are not the government. And so a prominent anti-vaxxer on YouTube lost his lawsuit. He wanted to force YouTube to provide access to his videos. And the court said no. He said that YouTube owed him $75,000 in damages. And they said, nope, because they're a private company, and that's not what the First Amendment. First Amendment protects your speech from government censorship. And so it doesn't involve private citizens. It doesn't involve businesses. It doesn't involve organizations.
But it scares me how big. YouTube isn't even YouTube anymore. It's owned by Google. So,
well, it's been owned by Google
for a long time.
For like 10 years.
More than that. I think Google bought it in like 2007. Like it was not owned. Like Google bought it real fast.
Was it? Okay, I thought it was like in college that happened when I was in college.
No, I think YouTube had only been around for a couple of years.
I think they sold it like 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
But that bothers you. Why?
Oh, it's just another one of these things. Just like with the metaverse, these companies are too big to fail. So yes,
the metaverse famously failed. Flopped hard.
But the thing is,
he pumped $10 billion of his own money before he shut it down.
But
2006.
But metaverse is not gone away. I'm talking about like, yeah, you can lose $10 billion. That's my exact point. You can lose $10 billion and nothing that doesn't even blink, bat an eyelash. Like you're still back to business as normal.
Yeah, but $10 billion is still $10 billion.
That's not a good
That's
day.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not a good day.
But for any other company, that would be like, oh, you got to fire all these employees. You have to do this. You have to do that. Facebook doesn't have to do that.
They fired a lot of people.
That's because they want to, not because they're.
Well, these tech companies over COVID, like, overhired. And then
Mhm.
afterwards, they're like, well, we got to let some people go.
I just want to go through like their. I want to work there just so I can. I heard they get free lunch.
Just
every
wait.
day.
Free lunch?
Free
Just
lunch,
wait.
yeah. Just wait. We're gonna get bought by somebody. Eventually, we're gonna all be under. There's gonna be.
There will
two
be three
companies.
media
Yeah,
companies, yeah.
basically. So just
Well,
wait.
Well, yeah, I want to.
We'll
go to
either
their-
be Amazon, Apple, or Google. Just give it a couple weeks.
And guess what? There ain't going to be no free lunch.
Mhm.
Well, that was
Not
like
in the radio division. No.
Nope.
They'd be like, hey, after you get done at your shift at Google Subway, you can go over there and do your radio
Yeah,
show. We're
that's
gonna
right.
be. You think we're spinning plates now? Wait,
Uh-huh.
wait until they're like, well, we know that you guys do your radio show, but we want to see. We're just trying to maximize and it's synergy, and we just want you to be able to do really get out there and get your hands in it.
Bill be called back up for his sandwich artist service.
Right. They're gonna put us to work in different ways. 'Cause
Here at iHeart Apple Subway,
Mhm.
we believe in vertical and horizontal integration.
Mhm.
Well, was it Google or Facebook that had the slide?
Google.
So I want to go to Google for the slide, and I want
They
to.
don't have the slides anymore. I think those companies got rid of a lot of that crap over the years because they're like, oh, as more and more competition showed up, Google really kind of had their piece of real estate for a long time, kind
with
of.
Google, really. No Ask Jeeves.
Right. But listen, who knows? Maybe they still have a slide. But
Facebook had a.
if you want to go work a job because they have a slide, they're going to go, hey, get off the slide and get some work done. But I came here for the slide.
There's also just slides. Like
You can go to a park.
you can go on a slide today if you want.
Yeah.
There's
You're a
park
grown-ass man who is autonomous in his own body. You can just go to a park,
You live 2 minutes away from Lakewood
I
Park
was
now.
at Lakewood Park.
slide down a slide.
on Labor Day, and those slides are far too small. I didn't even try it because it's tiny. I need an adult slide. But that was one side of it.
I think you just need a little more time with Orange Theory, it sounds like.
Maybe I am too big. I would get stuck. Oh, that is my worst fear: being stuck in a slide, one of those big. Oh,
You mean
no.
the tube slide?
Yes,
How big? You know how big you'd have to be to get stuck?
those are not made for adults.
But they're not. You'd have to be a giant person to get stuck in one of those.
Yeah, I don't even think I would get stuck.
No.
I don't know.
There's a good episode of The Simpsons, though.
He
Homer
gets stuck in the-
like, send some kids down.
Uh-huh.
But there's got to be some jobs around here, some big companies, some big corporations that have like a chef making you free lunch because they want you to stay there all the time. It's like one of the perks of working there is you get like free lunch every day. One of those companies that got like mad paper.
Yeah, but free lunch, you don't know what that'll consist of.
Also, you're not even here for lunch.
I would be here if it was free.
You have to, but you have another job.
You mean the only thing that's not keeping you from putting more time in here at iHeart Cleveland is there's no free lunch?
Yeah, I would be here
Huh.
like half hour because I eat lunch in between my time of my morning job
I see
and this
what you mean.
job. So I have like 15 minutes where I can like scarf down while I'm getting ready something, and then I'm on my way. But if you guys have free lunch, I would have myself ready to go. I would have a bag. Like as soon as I can log out, like think I'm out the door to get my free lunch. Absolutely. A chef is making it. Oh, okay. Can I have some caviar? I'm gonna go
A chef.
stupid.
I don't think he knows free lunch is like sandwiches and chips.
Yeah, it's a.
That's not what I saw at Facebook. Like they had a chef there making food for everybody.
For-
Well, how
maybe
long
the
ago?
CEOs
Right,
were
in
like-
San Francisco at the main place,
But
not in the satellite offices.
Yeah, they just, and even at the main place, it's still basically a cafeteria where you just go through.
You guys are really trying to ruin my fantasy.
No, I'm
We're
just
trying
telling you
to
what it
give
is.
you
I mean,
real-
nobody can ruin your fantasy. Your fantasy is whatever you make it. But when you say, I want to do this in real life
He's
because this is this, that's not that.
Poundcake thinks he's going to be sitting at his desk and a hibachi chef's going to roll
Yes,
up.
that's exactly what I think.
Making fajitas.
Instead of everyone going out for like lunch at like some nearby restaurant, they're like, no, do it in the house. We have like tables here. We have a chef, and they'll whip you up something company
Yeah,
dinner.
we don't have sensitive computer equipment or anything. Let's just get the hibachi chef up there. Can spit lobster juice all over the place.
Yeah.
You have a dining area.
My old station in Chicago, the lobby had like a giant snack area. It had fridges full of like juices and pops, and it had chips and all kinds of snacks. All the time.
Yeah,
We didn't have a hibachi chef.
Hell, when I used to go to that cafe in the bottom of Oak Tree, and I would spend my money there because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's where I saw those.
Yeah, you had to spend your money though. All our stuff was free.
I get that, but that's like I want to experiment with stuff. So and that's what I would spend my money on. So imagine if it was free, I would lose my mind. That's where I saw those blueberry Kit Kats. I still haven't had any of those since.
He'd put on all the
Those
weight
were
he
good,
lost
yeah.
over at, where do you work out again?
Orange Theory Fitness
He'd put all that weight back on with free hibachi lunch.
and blueberry Kit Kats.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to a buddy of mine who works for Apple
Okay.
out there in Canoga Park or wherever they are, Cupertino. I'm going to go, hey, what are the perks? I go, you guys have free hibachi lunch?
I bet you he says
Going,
yes.
I bet you he says, are you insane?
We don't want people to ever leave this company, so let's
They
make
don't.
it
They work
comfortable.
them so hard, they don't ever leave the building.
So
That's
gotta
why
feed
it's a giant circle, so people can't find the doors.
them. You can't get out.
It's a giant donut.
And if you Google Meta cafeteria, it just says they fired a bunch of the cafeteria workers and cut back on the free food.
Of course.
Cut back.
That's
not
why.
cutting completely off.
That's why. Okay, so now they're down to sandwiches instead of hibachi chef.
I'll settle for a wrap.
You're acting like it's 2006 still, and it ain't for anybody. So they're like, oh my god. I mean, this was great back in the day, but we gotta
That goes to show you how.
we gotta crack down on this.
That goes to show you how just a little bit of excitement can make your employees happy. Like,
Yes,
free
because you're
lunch.
distracting them from other things.
okay,
Those are distractions.
isn't it you who says make an effort? So these companies should make an effort to distract.
I'm saying you should make an effort. You are not Facebook. You should make an effort for yourself.
Well, if I get free.
Well, I'll ask him. I'll text him and ask him. Hey, you guys have hibachi lunch out there? Like, I don't know, man. I'm working all the time.
No time
That's
to
why all
eat,
those
yeah.
tech billionaires are trying to buy all that land out there to build their city. So all the people just work and live there. That's why Musk wants people sleeping in their offices. They don't want people leaving. And 15, 20 years ago, it was like, yeah, we got all these cool perks to get the best of the best when it was still a burgeoning industry. Well, 15, 20 years later, they're like, hey, we got metrics to hit. Go back to work. No more free chips. Work.
Also, you see how people are here when we get expired bags of chips, and they're like, "Hey, give me those."
Right. And this ain't Facebook. So expired chips is reason for excitement around these parts. Hey, how old are these? How old is this bag of kettle corn? I think it's from May. Beautiful.
May 2020.
So anyway, YouTube does not have to put the anti-vax guys stuff on there because they are, of course, a private company, and it doesn't apply to them. A lot of people understand the First Amendment, like, you know, during COVID, nobody understood HIPAA laws, right? People are like, I don't have to tell you anything as a HIPAA law. Yeah, that's not how it works. Not what that is. People would just use it as a crutch, though, right? They go, I can't because of HIPAA. Yeah, you don't understand what HIPAA is. It's got nothing to do with that. But, so listen, the beauty is if you're one of those people who likes misinformation, there's no shortage of places that you can go find it and you can go get it.
Yeah, it's all you're gonna get on X these days.
Huh.
Twitter or whatever.
I think it might be time to get off there.
Yeah,
I don't really post that much on there anymore, and I mostly use it just for a news aggregator, but I'm kind of
But
looking
even
at
the
it.
news aggregation,
Yeah,
like
I'm not having fun on here anymore, man, and it doesn't seem like anybody is.
and even like the
I don't open Twitter in
trends.
public.
Yeah,
Because literally it's just a porn star. I'm like, Jesus.
I haven't.
Well, I mean, you curate your own experience. I'm just saying that, like,
But I follow porn stars. I'm like, all right.
yeah. I was reading about how rectal foreign objects are on the rise, too, in people's bodies, hospital rooms. And
Can't even get domestic foreign objects. They're going
What about domestic objects?
Foreign objects.
Yeah, domestic foreign objects. That go missing.
Mm-hmm.
My rectum took an oath to defend against both foreign and domestic threats from within and without. Hospitalizations for rectal foreign objects are on the rise at emergency rooms around the country.
There's a lot of people that are butt curious, but they don't want to get the proper tools.
They go a little too far.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have grill tongs. You got to have...
You want to have an end on it that's not going to get up in the butt. Like, you got to have a stopper.
A stopper.
You need a stopper.
You got to have a wider end on one end. They've noticed a lot of reports of injuries involving the pubic region or lower trunk of the body with an accompanying diagnosis of foreign body puncture or laceration.
I was watching this show.
Don't put a succulent cactus up there.
What part is a lower trunk? Is that just like
your pelvic region? Okay. It's going to be, like if you put something up there, it's going up into your guts if it gets stuck. So,
ouch.
Yeah.
There was a guy on the latest season of The Ultimatum, which is where people say either marry me or we're breaking up, and they'll date somebody else for like a week or two, and then they get back with their, and then they were talking about their sex life, and this guy just casually drops, he's like, boy, I hope my mom wasn't watching this because I don't want her to find out what a sounding rod is. And I was like, dude, whoa.
Just went from 0 to 60.
Yeah, that's, it was alarming.
You dip your toe in that pool. You're on a journey, my friend.
I think
I'm into some fun, wild, but sounding is one of those things that I have no interest in ever.
I'm happy there's people out there doing it. You're following your bliss. It's got no place in my life.
I feel like that's one of those things too, similar to the butt stuff, where you're probably trying it with something that wasn't meant for it the first time. Like you're not bringing in a pro with a real sounding rod.
No,
you're putting in like something
like a mercury thermometer. Hoping it doesn't break.
Right.
All right, this is very.
I gotta go to break.
Good.
Yep.
We went too far. I'm sorry I even brought that up.
If you want to get a text in here for something, 35192. Listen wherever you are on the iHeartRadio app, and we'll be back.
Your afternoon drive. The Buzzard.
Is Rover.